Hi, I'm Lisa from Primitive Gatherings, and I'm here today with Luke to talk about long arm quilting. So Luke, what is our new long arm service about?
So we're excited at Primitive Gatherings here to be offering a new quilt finishing service. This service is going to provide our customers with high quality, a quick turnaround solution for their unfinished quilt tops that previously wasn't available to them.
Okay, so that's kind of why you wanted to do it, right?
Yes, so one thing that we found from traveling all over the country, whether it be quilt shows or different events where I've gotten to meet quilters, different retreats, we've noticed a common problem. That problem was people were able to finish their quilts, to piece their quilts quicker than they were able to get them finished.
The quilt top.
Right? So the bottleneck existed between taking that quilt top and turning it into a finished product. And I found it amazing because some ladies that I've spoken to, they have closets full of unfinished quilt tops. We're talking, almost, you can tell that from talking to them that it was an embarrassing amount. And there was a certain, almost like anxiety and guilt that some of these quilters had because they want to keep going, but this pile of unfinished quilt tops was just getting bigger and bigger. So having experienced these conversations all over, we had to ask why. Why are all these people having trouble finishing their quilts? And it turns out that access to either a long arm quilting machine or a long arm quilter themselves is not as easy as you might think. What we want to do here at Primitive Gatherings is to offer a complete solution to the quilter. So whether that might be purchasing a new long arm quilting machine or whether it's using our new quilting service, we want to remove that. And I think that will help us out not only in providing that service, which I think will be very successful and very popular, but it'll also let those people who participate in our summer block of the weeks and block of the months to not feel like those quilt tops are piling up in the background.
Hi, my name's Tyler. I'm a long arm quilter here at Primitive Gatherings. I've been working here for about 6 months. I've known Luke and Jake since grade school, so I'm very excited for the opportunity for them to bring me in and train me how to long arm quilt. So I've seen this business grow from backyard quilts to what it is now. Very excited to be a part of it. My grandma's actually a long arm quilter out of Whitefish, Montana. She has 3 long arm machines. She does custom quilting. So it's in my blood. I love to be around it. I love the art aspect of it, and very excited to be working here.
So one of the things that we do different at Primitive Gatherings is I do a lot of wool applique. And I think a lot of people struggle with getting their beautiful embroidery stitched wool applique quilt quilted. Like a lot of custom long armers don't want to handle that, right? So you have figured out a way to make that happen. How does that look?
Yes, so this is very interesting and something I'm very proud of. I've sensed that there was a certain hesitation people have when it comes to quilting and wool applique. A long time sentiment, I guess is a way to say it, is that the only way to finish a wool applique quilt is to have it custom quilted, right? Because you can't do edge to edge over wool applique.
But the problem is with custom quilting is it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So some of these quilts are causing $1,500 to have custom quilted.
Yes.
But
yeah, so not only expensive, but also sometimes it can take a year to get it
your
back.
quilt back. Yes.
So we found that by perfecting the quilting process on wool applique, we can not only affordably but reasonably quickly turn around projects and get them back into the hands of the quilters.
Hi, I'm Jake with Primitive Gatherings, and I work in the Long Arm Quilting Division. I love the challenging aspects of it. I love creating designs on the computer. I love intaking new quilts that our customers have sent to us in the mail or walk-in, and I like to go over new designs with them and see what they want to put on their quilt. See how fun and funky they want to make it.
So how many people do you have working here at Primitive Gatherings?
So right now we have Tyler, Jake, and myself. We are all quilters. We have a couple other support people, whether it be in shipping, billing, and the panels, right? We can talk about the panels, but we have, Amy helps us out making backs for our panels, which is a really exciting program.
I heard she taught you guys how to make backs now, though.
Some of us.
Yes.
Some of us. Not all of us, but some of us. Yep, she did.
All right, so what if I've never sent a quilt to anybody before? How does that look like, and what do I do, and how do I know it's going to make it to you?
So the first thing you can do is call me. So the process of getting a quilt finished through us is you would take your quilt to your local UPS store. Now we use UPS because they offer the best insurance.
And tracking, yep.
Insurance and tracking, which is huge.
Yes.
With these projects, because we know not only the money, the time people have invested in these quilts, you want to make sure you insure them. And what we do is we start a dialogue and you let us know that you're going to send us a quilt. So we start, we have a little consultation. We talk about what your goals are and what you want on your project. And then what we do is we get you to ship us insured to our warehouse here. Once it comes here, we have the new Q-matic quilting software, which is great because it allows us to do a mock-up. We are able to actually mock up on the computer, and we can go over, okay, so I want a feather. Great, so we can give you a couple options of a feather.
You can do a feather this big or this big.
So you pick your feather. Then we can go over density, right? How dense, how open do you want this quilting design on your quilt? We get it done to you, give you a call. We'll get the billing information from you. We bill after work is complete. Once the quilt is completed, we weigh it, package it up, and then we bill you and ship it insured back to you.
So one of the things that impresses me about you when you do your machine quilting is he is super picky. Like I've have edge to edge some of my own quilts, but he is like super picky about every little tension, and I'm like, Luke, you're being way too picky. I mean, there is some variation when you're quilting, when you're doing your quilts, but he is like super picky about all this. So that's a good thing. I mean, like I trust you with any of my quilts to quilt.
The thing is that I may have only been quilting for a couple years, but I've been around quilts and quilting my entire life, it seems, right? So I know what a quilt represents to the people who make them. I understand that it's not even about the money, although they are expensive, right? I mean, especially wool applique quilts, you're talking about hundreds of dollars. But it means a lot to me that somebody would send me something that they might have took several years to put together. And I don't want, the last thing I want to do is to be the person to give them bad news that something didn't turn out right, you know, especially when they're so proud of those projects. It's something I take very seriously. And I think going back to the last question about the wool applique, I think that's why a lot of quilters hesitate in taking wool applique projects, because it is, it can be a little bit tougher than just doing your plain cotton, flannel, you know, non-applique quilts. There's a little bit more of the setup. There's a little bit more patience you need to have to make them turn out right.
So what would you do if I came to you and said, hey, I really need this quilt in less than a month. Can you get it back to me?
So we're very proud of our turnaround time. We are normally without even any rush. So we have if there's an emergency and you really need something back, we've done it with a few people who wanted their quilts back before Christmas. We have that. It's a $25 charge. And we'll come in on the weekends. You know, some of you might see that we post some things. We're in here on the weekends, and usually that's just to get some people get their stuff done without necessarily kicking anybody else back, right? Because that's important too, because we want it to be fair. But normally we are very proud of the fact that we're able to get quilts back to their owners in a very timely fashion.
All right, well, this is what we have for you today. I'm sure we'll be talking more about the long arm quilting, the more people involved, some more details coming up. So stay tuned and hang around and watch this business grow.
Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you like and subscribe to us and hit the notification bell.